Hello, my name is Johan Falk. I work at NodeOne Scandinavia. This is episode 17 of the Learn Rules Framework screencast series, and I thought I should show you what a wonderful morning it is here in Stockholm before we get started.
Not bad, huh?
Right, so let's close this one. Here's a sandbox site we're working with. Here's the Learn Framework, the Rules Framework screencast series. It's part of the NodeOne Learning Library. Over now 200 items in it. I'm pretty happy about that. And there's a book as well that you can find over at Amazon. So we're going to look at views bulk operations today. This is the first of 4 screencasts introducing views bulk operations. Let's just close this window to make it a bit more quiet. Yes, and if you haven't used bulk operations already, you're missing something because it's really cool. It has its own project page, views bulk operations. It also has, I think, the longest machine name for a Drupal project that I know at least. But that's okay because it's a cool module. It was maintained. Well, I think the Drupal 6 version is maintained by InfoJunk and Drupal 7 version maintained by NodeOne.se. Views bulk operations has changed quite much from Drupal 6 to Drupal 7. I am right now using the dev version. It's in beta right now, so it might be a good. If you want to get the latest changes, use the dev. Right. You install and enable views bulk operations just like any other module. It requires views. I already have views installed on my machine here, so I'm just enabling views bulk operations. And views bulk operations is a module used for... it uses Entity API, I didn't know. It's a module used for performing actions on stuff that you list in views, usually entities then. I think views bulk operations only work with entities right now, but theoretically I guess it could work with something else as well. In this screencast I'm just going to give you a simple example of what you can do with views bulk operations, and then we're going to go into more details about how it works in later screencasts. Under structure views, you can add yourself a new view, so let's do that. A VBO test example might be better. Let's give this a description, since you should always give descriptions to your views. An example of what you can do with VBO. VBO is a good way of saying views bulk operations if you want to save some time. Show content, sure. Create a page. Let's give this a table. You'll need fields if you want to use views bulk operations, because it is now implemented as a field views bulk operation. That's the difference from Drupal 6. Let's put a menu link in main menu and continue. Alright, bulk operations views work just like regular views. You add fields and stuff. Let's put a title on this one. And maybe also say, let's add a relationship here to the node author so we can get that as well, because I want to show something about how you add bulk operation fields to your view. So let's add the author. If you find this confusing, you should have a look at the Learn Views screencast series, Taming the Beast. It's a good one. It explains relationships and fields and everything you need to know to work with views basics. No extra modules. Okay, to make a view, let's have a look at this as it looks right now actually. There. Saving that one. Saving a view is a good thing. The example view now is a very simple table here. And I can add a VBO field. If you search for bulk, you will find it. It's called bulk operations. And you select the kind of content, the kind of entity you want to well, say object entity is not really true because this is a revision. Revisions aren't entities of their own. But what kind of object you want to perform actions on. In this case, we have content available in the view. The view knows that it works with nodes, so it allows you to add bulk operations to nodes. With the nodes, you also have node revisions, so you can perform bulk operations on node revisions listed in your view. And since I added the relationship to the author, I can now also add bulk operations to the acting on the user object. I'm just going to add an action to work with the nodes right off. That's the probably most common case you got. So I'm adding that in configuring. And you can have a label. And if I just leave this the way it is, well, you have some pretty cool bulk operation settings here. I'm going to comment on these special settings later on in the next screencast. But this is the interesting thing, the selected operations. It allows you to select which operations should be possible to run on the listed items. So we could, for example, make nodes sticky or unsticky. See, we get extra options here. I'm going to comment on those later on. And we can also say change author of content. Apply. Now if I save this, you'll see that this view has changed quite dramatically. It has got a new field, the VBO field, which are displayed as checkboxes. And we can select two of these, select one of the operations we made available here, and say make them sticky. Execute. By default you get this confirmation step, which is good sometimes if you perform heavy, well, non-revertible changes like deleting stuff or so. But pretty often you just want to skip that confirmation step. You can also, well, pretty many actions here have configuration pages, like this change the author of the content. If I want to do that, I can do that on two nodes at the same time. Let's actually make sure that this works. If we look at this node here, it is written by whom? Oh, I need to add it because this is a basic page, not an article. Okay. It is written by administrator. Okay. So I'm changing the author of this one and of that one with use bulk operations. Execute. And here I get the config page for this action. Setting parameters. The user should be the test user instead, or yeah. Go, and then I get the confirmation step again, confirm. Now the author here should be the test user. So let's check that. We can reload, not control R or command R for reloading here, because I think that saves all the form state stuff. Well, it resends the page with the data you just had in it. Here, written by test. So this is an introduction to views bulk operations. It's a pretty simple module to use to configure, as long as you know how views works, and it's a very good way of creating administrative pages. In the next screencast, we're going to look at some of the options available for views bulk operations to make these bulk operations views more comfortable to use. Right, see you there.